Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Marisa.
And I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. Just
Just
as a reminder.
We are the Worcestershire sisters.
Just as a reminder, this podcast is rated T for teen for strong language and mature themes.
And adult situations. Viewer discretion is advised.
Exactly.
If you don't want your discretion to be advised, I'm tired. Then head on over to her very own podcast, Unlocked. I've said it right the last 5 times, and I'm really
so proud
of myself.
Very proud of you. Okay, sister. What are we?
Which reminds me.
Okay.
Her interactive Twitter keeps liking our posts.
Does it?
They liked our sexy posts, I believe.
That's uncomfortable.
It is.
But they can't.
I feel like somebody should tell them that they maybe should for their own, Yeah.
I wonder if we get more views when they do stuff like that.
I don't know.
Well, that'd be interesting to look at.
Run the metrics.
Yeah, I mean, See, it doesn't on here look like we did. Like they liked our.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that they liked our stuff, and I was like, "Uh-oh, you guys, I appreciate the love, but maybe just don't."
Yeah, it actually they did. They liked our tweet about the sexy ones. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah,
guys, come on,
get it together.
Don't be listening to sexy talk while at work. Come on.
Somebody in charge of the Twitter that day that just didn't really think about it. They're like, oh,
that's so funny though.
Because it's not like we bury the lead in that. It is in the title.
It's in the title. Top 5 sexiest characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we talking about today that's not about the podcast we did while we were super drunk and said sexy a lot?
God, that was a mess. Today we are talking about one of the absolute greatest games that I clearly have no problem with. Mm-hmm. Secret of the Scarlet Hand.
Yeah, obviously.
I have so much. I only have good things to say about this game.
Only good things.
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows it's my favorite game.
Yeah.
That being said, no, it's not.
So, I feel like we wouldn't mind Secret of the Scarlet Hand so much if it weren't the only game we had to play for a huge stretch of time.
That probably did not help.
Because we got it in, we've talked about this before, but we got it in 4 different 2-packs.
So many. We just kept getting it. We had a whole section of our Nancy Drew binder that was filled with just that disc.
So the thing is that a lot of our other games, for a while, we just had all of our games in a shoebox in their jewel cases and stuff. But then some of them stopped coming with jewel cases. They started just having a little envelope. So things would get scratched. So for a while, everything was either missing, no clue where it went, no idea, or
no idea, man. Yes.
Or it was scratched up, or it was Secret of the Scarlet Hand.
Those were our choices.
So it was let's play Nancy Drew. What should we play? We got a scratched up final scene. I have the case for Danger on Deception Island. No clue where it went. I have a scratched up Shadow Ranch in the case for Scarlet Hand.
And then there was ones that we only had. Hands. And then there were ones that we only had one of the ones that are 2 discs.
Oh yeah.
And we only had one of them. It's well, we can't play with just this disc.
It's where did the other Danger by Design go? I don't know. Okay. So we played it a lot. And saying a lot, you don't really understand how many times we played it.
So many times.
So it's one of those games where it's like, I have some of the things just stuck in my head for forever.
It's like that friend who, whenever they come over, they only want to watch that exact same movie.
Yeah.
You know, and they just want to watch it over and over again. So every time they come to sleep over, and they come to sleep over like maybe twice a week, and
are you just talking about me now, or just talking about me with the?
Actually, I was legitimately thinking about Sarah with
Across the Universe,
and Alyssa and Janelle with Galaxy Quest.
Oh God.
For that stretch of time.
Yep.
Both movies, I have trouble. Actually, I've been able to watch Galaxy Quest more recently. Yeah. I have not been able to watch Across the Universe in a while.
How you feel about Swan Princess?
Yeah.
Mulan. How about Mulan? How you feel about Mulan?
I could do Mulan.
Yeah. I did not realize how much of that movie I still had memorized until I was working at the kids club, and we put Mulan on. And they're like, "What movie is this?" And I was like, "It's Mulan." And they're like, "It's pronounced Moana." I was like, "Moana is a different movie. This is Mulan."
It's pronounced Moana. Look here, you little shits.
It's so funny.
Let me school you.
It's pronounced Moana. Oh, 3-year-olds are hilarious.
It's in a different part of the world, you guys. Calm down.
But yeah, and I would put it on, and then I'd just say it with it the entire time. The kids thought it was hilarious. But yes, that's how we feel about Secret of the Scarlet Hand. So let's first talk. What do we like about it?
Okay, I do enjoy the factoids about Mayan civilization.
Even if some of it is wrong.
Some of it is wrong,
like
but
calling
enough
Tlaloc
of it
a Mayan god. That just Tlaloc was Aztec. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, you can tell by the Tlaloc. Just look at it. That's Nahuatl. That is not Mayan language. Nahuatl was of the Aztecs. Why did you do this to me? Why are you triggering me right now?
It's literally the only thing I can think of every time I think about walking out into the garden area is seeing the thing that says Tlaloc, and I was like, what? What?
I'm going to remind everybody that I'm going to get a little bit picky about some of these things because the history of the Americas was my study. That's what I was working towards having a degree in. That was my specialty. And I loved the Mayans, the Incans, and the Aztecs.
Maya, Inca, Aztec.
So
yes.
Okay.
But yes.
And also love me some museum time.
Museums are great. I like museums.
Yeah.
Although
I don't know that I've been in many museums quite like the Beach Hill Museum. Just
2 rooms. 2 rooms in the entire museum.
It's an interesting, and we've got some weird little.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It honestly is more like an auditorium at an elementary school.
It reminds me a little bit of the San Diego Museum of Model Railroads.
Yes.
In that it's just a couple of rooms, and there's like there's a single little display, and everything else is like just little things on the wall.
Pretty much. You know what? No, pretty much.
That's pretty much the only museum I can think of that even comes close to that, because I'm used to like much bigger, nicer museums.
To be fair, yeah. I mean, growing up in Balboa Park, where there are so many museums.
So many museums.
Well-known museums and everything. But, yeah, no, that is... honestly, there's an elementary school that I teach at right now that has an auditorium that makes me think of Beach Hill. It's very long, and they usually have, like, tables set up in it. I don't know. It just makes me think of it, and I don't know why. And there's a basement, so,
So that's where you can keep the stuff that'll scare the children. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That freaking... We'll get to that.
Yeah. What do we hate about it? What do we hate? What do we not like about this game, sister? Just I know it's going to be so hard to come up with things.
I know, because I haven't already spent the part where we were supposed to be talking about what we do like, talking about things I don't like. Well, the one thing that I definitely needed to make the list is the traveling.
Yes.
For whatever reason, the traveling in this one bugs the shit out of me.
Like, I don't like traveling by subway map. It's not interesting to me. I don't know. I don't know. My thing, what do I not like about it? Literally none of the characters in this game are likable. Literally none of them.
Yeah.
And honestly, pretty much even the people we talk to on the phone are...
It's just like, oh my god.
It's and none of it is fun. I mean,
and just, you expect a game to be fun. And then when it's not, and it feels like a chore to get through. Let's just power through it. Let's just power through it. We can finish
get through it.
This is a game.
Oh god. Sorry. Whew. Big ol' yawn.
Yeah.
Talk to myself like I'm the cat. What a big yawn.
What a big yawn you made.
But yeah, the game has a good atmosphere, so that's good. Mm-hmm. But it also has an atmosphere of, how do I put this? It just feels like everyone else has a deadline for all of their work, and you actually finished your work, but everyone's making you do their work instead. And so, even though you should be able to relax because you met your deadline, everyone else is making you do. That's what it feels like.
It does. No, absolutely. It's like, but I did all my stuff. All the stuff on my list is done. Well, now I need to do stuff on my list. Well, what are you going to do? Stand here in my mom jeans?
Who knows?
You got me.
Oh,
why don't you go ask Henrik?
We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yes.
But yeah, no, seriously. It's on par for me with Warnings at Waverly Academy, where everyone else is making us do their jobs. I'm like, what's your job? What are you doing?
Playing the cello.
Very true.
Yeah.
Well, not in this game.
At least Mel's got some important work going on.
Could you imagine if, like, you just walk into the office and Joanna's just playing the cello?
That would be great.
Organize some Providence documents, something you're really, you have nothing to do with, and you are not in any way, knowledgeable about this. Well, I play the cello.
Things you're not qualified to do. Go do them.
Thing. Okay, you know what? No, that's the biggest thing that I hate about this game. And that this is the game where Nancy is dealing with the most stuff. She has absolutely no training or authority on. There's that. Like, why is she doing any of this?
Because her daddy had Franklin Rose get her the internship for no fucking reason.
And all I can think is that there is some actual, archaeology student or something like that who applied for this. They had so many references.
Yeah, they were like
they were like, their GPA is 4.0 and they're in 5 million clubs, and you know what? They got told no because some rich girl had her daddy use cronyism to get her the job.
Yep. Nepotism. Well,
no, that's cronyism.
It's cronyism, but also nepotism.
Nepotism because
It's nepotism by way of cronyism.
Yes.
There we go. I had to think about it. I'm like, no, wait, but there's a whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, that's and that's obviously always one of our things. Whenever Nancy interns, it's like that could go to somebody who's going to use it, not somebody who's going to go on to the next adventure.
And then intern somewhere else. She is just stealing. You know what? Nancy Drew is single-handedly destroying the lives of college students across the country.
Just ruining them.
Just completely. You know what? And what is she gonna? Is she gonna put that on her CV? Really? What
Right.
jobs is she applying to?
We really need to like put down all of the jobs and internships she's had, just so that it's like looking at her CV going, I'm sorry, do you have any direction in life? Because none of this works together.
Pretty much, especially since a lot of these she wasn't actually ever hired on for some mysteries and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you can't put Shadow Ranch on your CV, can you? You were there on vacation.
You just chose to do this stupid shit.
I found some buried treasure.
Yeah.
Okay, but what does that have to do with being an office assistant?
I'm sorry, have you found buried treasure? I didn't think so. Now give me this job and go get me a donut, Susan.
Everyone should be that person in their interviews, obviously. Go in there, be like, you know what? If Nancy Drew can get a job with an entomologist, so can I.
Yes. Another thing I do actually like about this about the game is the music. The music is great in it.
Yes,
okay,
it is good.
There we go.
It is good.
I can give a positive.
Who is our favorite character?
Okay, now there's an asterisk by this. Henrik, but only after he has the concussion and is in the hospital. Is upset. Only then do I really enjoy him.
Yep. I don't remember.
He just I don't remember. He's
same dude.
Oh, poor bro.
Yep. None of the other characters are likable. I mean, I guess I might say Prudence Rutherford is my favorite character. To be fair,
that's true. Even then, it's just she's a big, huge comic relief thing. Because honestly, she is a terrible woman.
Get off the couch.
Prudence Rutherford is a horrible woman.
Get off the couch, you silly thing. You silly thing, get off the couch. Oh, a dog? No, my husband.
No, my husband.
I think that's during Danger by Design, though. That specific one.
Actually, that is, I want to say that's
during Scarlet Hand. She doesn't have a husband. She's recently widowed in that one. I don't know. Prudence Rutherford goes through men like no other.
She goes through men like Kleenex.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, Henrik in the hospital.
Yes.
Amnesiac
no.
Henrik.
The nurse. Henrik's nurse. He's the best character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's our least favorite?
Well, golly gee. I mean,
who knows?
Freaking she drives me up the walls. Joanna is just...
Let's read my response to this, because it was, Yeah. Who knows? Fucking shut your mouth, bitch. I hate you. I hate your freckles, I hate your turtleneck, and I hate your whiny voice. Go ask Henrik. Shut up. That was my response to this question.
Which you then followed up with, but do I hate Joanna more than I hate Taylor? It's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell, because, just every time we interact with Joanna, I want to strangle her or myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
However, when I talk to Taylor, he has that quality in him that makes me want to flee.
Yes, as one should. When one sees a man who looks like the living embodiment of a Cheshire cat.
It's just I don't want to have anything to do with you. I never want to be in the same room with you, especially alone.
Here, do you want some sweets? You want some sweets I get imported? No. Stop it. Nancy, do not accept candy from this man.
It's a cookie, Ariana.
I don't care.
And it's from
It's
Oaxaca.
still a sweet. Oaxaca.
Oaxaca. But
we get Oaxaca cheese with a lot of our of our Blue Apron stuff, and every time I kind of have this little twitch, and I can never figure out why. It's it's just because of the damn cookies.
Yeah. Oh god. Now I just remembered that weird confessions Tumblr for a while.
What?
Never mind. If you don't remember what it is, I'm not reminding you. But honestly, the fact that Nancy meets this man in the garden, no clue who he is. No one's talked about him yet. In some of our playthroughs, no one has talked about him yet.
Depends on how you play it.
He just goes, "Hey, meet me later in my office." And Nancy goes,
"Well,
okay.
Yeah, okay,
sure, dude. See you there.
Sure, let me just go across town to your office. This isn't weird and sketchy."
You know what, kids? We have any kids listening, which we shouldn't because it's T for teen.
We already
still,
did this.
If you're already listening, just know that if a strange man tells you to come meet him alone in his office, run the opposite direction.
Just
call the police.
Don't. Nancy has zero self-preservation.
She really does.
She just, I don't know how to deal with her.
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Do you hate Taylor or Joanna more?
Honestly, Taylor, because at least Joanna won't kill me.
I hate Joanna more because she's fucking irresponsible and I want to hit her. At least, with Taylor, it's like, maybe he's going to get arrested for something at some point because that creep's obviously up to stuff. But Joanna is just, she is wildly irresponsible with the objects in her care.
She really is. I mean, she let some 19-year-old kid just touch him.
And Nancy ain't wearing no gloves.
Neither's Joanna. And it's just like, what?
Body oils all over that shit.
Henrik does.
This is like, gloves. He does. Because he's actually curating them. And
we haven't even mentioned Alejandro in this entire episode.
Alejandro is so fucking blah. Honest to God, I don't remember his importance at all. I remember going to him. I remember talking to him.
I remember
him being a character. I don't remember his influence on the story.
Because
one iota.
There was never any time where we were like, oh, it's totally him. We never thought it was him.
No.
It was never going to be him.
No.
We're just supposed to think it's him because he's, a Mexican guy complaining that Mexican artifacts were stolen from Mexico.
Since they were. But
I mean, it's
not
the
point.
I completely agree with him. All of these things need to be taken back to Mexico.
I guess that's supposed to be something that people aren't used to. It's supposed to be, but we're American and we have these things. And so, most players might, but we grew up in a place in California where Mexican people actively talk about, talked about, revolutionizing and taking California back from Mexico.
Yeah, we literally had a Spanish teacher in elementary school who just outright told us that, by the end of our lifetimes, Mexico will take me back.
I was like, she was like, you need to learn Spanish because
I mean, doesn't sound completely plausible. Thanks, Senor Manriquez, anyway.
Thank you, Senor Manriquez. I appreciate you.
Oh, God. But yes, so that was always something that we at least already knew of. I guess we were supposed to think maybe he was stealing them. You know what? If he was, I would have been like, dude, keep it. You take that back to Mexico. Fuck the colonialists who took it in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't make him a likable character. That's his only.
Not at all. That's literally his only
character trait. Really, is that he is Mexican.
His character traits are being Mexican and outraged by things not being in Mexico, and
he speaks Nahuatl. I think that's racist.
It is weird because nobody speaks Nahuatl.
I mean, yeah, it's not a dead language. People do still speak it.
Not just actively, no.
I mean, yeah, in some parts of Mexico they do. They do.
Don't nobody go around just learning it just for.
But it's true. Okay, but still,
it's a fun language, though, guys.
It is. But why would he? it's just interesting to me that they're just like, yeah, he knows the Nahuatl word for snake.
Well,
And it's
I mean,
Nahuatl has nothing to do with the Maya. I don't understand that.
again, we go back to the fact that Nahuatl isn't fucking...
I know, that's what I'm saying. But to be fair, we have to learn the Nahuatl word for snake to talk to the black market people in
Mexico. The
Mexico.
people that Nancy doesn't know why she's dealing with them.
Nope. No clue. Absolutely no idea, but she's doing it anyway because Nancy, as you said, has no self-preservation.
Zero. Well, I guess I'm doing a deal with some smugglers now.
She just writes it in her notes like, now I have to wait to see what this is. I'm like, what the fuck? Nancy.
Nancy, stop.
God. So,
by all accounts, she probably should have been arrested.
Yes.
But I was doing it for the investigation. Nancy, you are not a police officer. All right, okay, puzzles.
So what's our favorite part / puzzle of the game?
I don't know. What about for you?
Honestly, this is one of those games where I kind of like the chores we have to do because they're like my jam in a way, like organizing all the numbers and also honestly just organizing the audio tracks. I actually like doing that because
that's pretty fun. Yeah,
I don't know why. It's calming. It's making organization out of chaos.
Yes, chaos. Anyway, that should not have been so.
No,
why was that a problem?
I agree. Why was that? Sunny June is why it was a problem.
Sunny June, I know, but
yes. I like putting together pottery, even though Nancy shouldn't be allowed to.
See, that just enrages me.
Yeah, nope, that's it.
That's it. That's pretty much it. Yeah. What don't we like? What are our least favorite?
Okay, let's start with the thing you put down.
Yeah. That entire pyramid of activities.
Almost. It's almost a pyramid of death. I mean, Henrik almost dies after being pushed off of it.
Very true. Instead, he just becomes our favorite character.
Where did Taylor go when that happened? Like, did he just go in? Did he just go into the pyramid? Could we have just gone up there and gone into the pyramid to see that it was Taylor?
I guess.
Like, that's okay, I'm sorry. But the pyramid of death. The activities inside.
Oh my god. No, let's just start with playing Bull. Like, I can go my entire life never playing that game ever again.
Too bad we have to play it in 2 different games. Huh?
I know! My mom just brought this back. Sorry.
Seriously, though.
I really hate playing it against Jane, because it's like, shut up, you little snotty-ass bitch. But, I just remember you being upset about not getting to kill a child.
I'm just saying, to be fair, she was born the year after I was born. It says so on her little birth thing. So I can be upset about current day 25-year-old Jane.
I hope she's not the same way.
I hope not. Also, okay.
Yeah, also.
We've discussed it before. We've talked about it before. The fucking poem. The fucking poem at the end. What the fuck is that? Literally, okay. We'll start with us being trapped inside of a monolith. I fucking hate that, which I talked about in the last episode. That I'm claustrophobic, so that was never a good thing. Because
which also claustrophobia is why I have a problem with the activity center when you get underneath.
Definitely, but so we're inside there with 1, we're trapped inside of a small space with not very much air. 2, next to a dead person, which also was not great for little me playing the game. And then after all of this shit that we go through, we break out and the other 3 people in the game are just standing there
With their arms crossed.
telling me a poem.
Yeah. Okay. So are we supposed to believe that it's just a storytelling device? Or are we meant to believe, which is not a thing that happens in any of the rest of this game or any other game following or preceding? Or are we to expect that they stood out there coming up with this poem while Nancy was suffocating?
I
go with that one because it makes me angriest.
I just don't understand. But yeah, I don't know. That's just how it is, I guess. Was Nancy just like she comes out and she gets some breath in and she starts hallucinating because she's
I was getting ready to say
suffocating. So with the little air, now she finally gets air again. So she's like, oh, obviously all these people are out here waiting for me. Maybe that's what it is.
Yes.
But that then feels like such a shitty ending because then it's that Nancy breaks out of there onto just like crappy indoor grass, so it has to just be astroturf, right?
Yeah.
She just breaks out onto some astroturf, heaving, and then goes, oh, I guess I need to call the police because that man just tried to kill me.
Yeah, right. Just, you guys. That's another thing.
How do I explain this to the police by the fact that I, now have this cool tablet that from, inside of there that has, secret law stuff on it. Obviously, I did not make it up myself, fabricate this artifact, priceless artifact at all. I'm just, broke into the monolith, that big piece of stone. No, it totally moves. It opens, I swear.
Yes.
That's not what
no, I know, sister. It's okay.
You'd be able to see hinges or something like that. It wouldn't just hinge open. There would be no hinges. You would have to maybe slide things, but there'd be no mechanisms to keep it in place.
Right.
You people drive me crazy.
You people need to actually look at objects in the real world.
Yes.
Okay. Are we going on to crackpot theories?
Let's go on to crackpot theories before I just blow a gasket.
Sounds good.
Artifacts, I guess. So, crackpot theory.
Okay. My crackpot theory comes in the form of a story. So
okay.
So Nancy, when she fell in, because you know how we see her falling, and as she's going in, you see her going face first towards the mummy, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, she accidentally kissed the mummy, but that didn't matter to the story. So everything was kept going. But then they left it open, and then that night at the museum, when nobody else was there, the mummy, the curse that nobody knew was on it, was broken. And so the next morning, everyone came back, and the mummy was gone.
Oh.
The mummy was gone. She released the scribe, and now walks the earth. But we don't know that it's him because he looks her. She walks the earth. I don't give a shit. Maybe the mummy decided to change to being a boy. You don't know. You don't know her identity. Jesus. Anyway, but yeah, so Nancy accidentally released a mummy onto the earth, and now she has to go around and I'm gonna stop now because as I continue, it's just sort of devolving into that episode of Buffy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
It started out different. But yeah, that's my theory. What's your theory, sister?
My theory is that the moment that Nancy stepped foot into that museum, the Whisperer, the scribe, the Whisperer, she possessed Nancy, and that's why Nancy did the things she did, because the scribe was, the Whisperer was like, we got to do this thing so we can get these things so I can be released from there and my story can be told.
See, so that leads into mine.
No, because in mine, she doesn't become a mummy that walks the earth. She instead gets released and turns to dust. So yeah, that's my crackpot theory.
Our crackpot theories for this one are very mystical.
They're very in depth.
As opposed to like our other ones where it's like, this person is this person's child. Dun dun dun. This was much more mystical.
It was. I liked it. So please tell us your crackpot theories, because we honestly love hearing them for the people who actually do it.
Yeah, that is fun.
So you can tell us here, wherever you are watching this or listening or whatever you're doing. I mean,
however you are consuming this
media. So on Tumblr, on Twitter, on YouTube, on SoundCloud, any of these places, just tell us all your thoughts,
all your deep dark secrets regarding this.
Okay, I'm Marisa.
I'm Ariana. And that's me being possessed by the Whisperer.
Oh, okay. And we're the Krolmeister sisters, and we're asking you guys to stay sleepy.
And also, don't touch artifacts that you're not allowed to, you're not, responsible enough to handle. Okay? That's just my final piece of advice.
Okay. And sleepy.